All right, so what is your name and how long have you worked at FCCPS?
Well, good morning. My name is William Bates, and I'm the Chief Academic Officer here in Falls Church City Public Schools. And I started here in 2019, so this is my third year.
Great. All right, so how do you feel about the idea of Black History Month?
I think the idea of Black History Month is critically important for all Americans and people around the world, so they can gain a better understanding of the critically important contributions that Black people, specifically African Americans, have made to the country.
All right, great. And have there ever been any instances where you think you were discriminated against in a professional setting?
Yes, there's been a number of times when I've been discriminated against. I think more recently or more prominently, those forms of discrimination have come in the form of microaggressions. And so, for instance, just a short story, there were times, based upon my position, let's say as a high school principal, I would have an encounter with someone who didn't know who I was or didn't know what my title was. And after a second encounter, whenever I was introduced to them as the principal, their entire demeanor, their entire body language changed. And there were also times where I found it interesting that even students of color who were first introduced to me as their administrator, prior to me being introduced to them, they just assumed that I was in another position. So more specifically, I had been at a particular school as a new assistant principal for about 2 weeks, and there was a small group of African American students that I just hadn't had an opportunity to introduce myself to them. But whenever I did introduce myself to them as the assistant principal, they said, "Oh, wow, it's been 2 weeks, and this entire time we thought that you were the new security person at the school." And so again, it's not necessarily discrimination or racism, but just a misfire or a misalignment of expectations that we oftentimes have for people of color.
All right, thank you for sharing your answers.
Yeah, thank you.